On January 12, 1991, the Miami Dolphins traveled to upstate New York for more than a playoff game. They went to prove that the Dolphins are once again among the NFL's elite.
They will not give us anything. We will take it.
We got the football.
Make the plays,
good
man.
job at the return. Score in the drive, offense. Defense, we got to stop them. Stop them.
Make the plays. Let's go.
Play fake to Smith. Marino back to throw. Deep across the middle. It is caught by Duper. He's got to go.
Truer words were never spoken, but the Dolphins didn't stop there, as the Dan Marino-led offense riddled the vaunted Bills defense all day long.
Marino on 4th down and 5. Here's the snap. Marino in the shotgun. He goes deep. Downfield. It is caught. Down at the 5 and out of bounds.
But it wasn't just Marino's arm which had the Bills on the run.
And he's going to roll out and bootleg and run in for a touchdown. He walks in for the score. The Bills were fooled on that play.
It seemed unbelievable, but the team which was supposed to play like a fish out of water was instead pulling rabbits out of hats by pulling out all the stops.
Marino will play fake it, throws it in the end zone. Touchdown to Roy Foster.
Guard Roy Foster's first career catch was good for a touchdown, but even better, it narrowed Miami's deficit to a mere 3 points. Alas, however, Miami's game plan, brilliant in conception, devastating in execution, was not enough. The defeat was not easy. It was also not without honor. But perhaps it was more a beginning than an end, heralding what may be another golden age of Dolphin football. Certainly, the elements of a champion have been assembled. For potent passes have been joined by a frequently devastating, always opportunistic defense.
Back he goes to throw. Across the middle, intercepted. This might go for a touchdown. And a score for Kerry Glenn.
Young stars rising to new heights, coupled with the unmatched acumen of Don Shula, the winningest active coach in the NFL, led Miami to 13 wins and 2 playoff games in 1990. The 90 Dolphins were an ensemble of extraordinary men, committed to a single goal, victory. For the story of the Dolphins' silver season was the story of the tradition restored. Picking up a program at Foxborough Stadium might have been a good idea, as the Dolphins opened the season with 9 new starters. Then Miami's defense closed the door on the Patriots. Not to be outdone, some new faces on offense set out to make their marks.
On the snap, deep drop, going deep, far side, man open, touchdown to Tony Martin.
Still, the Dolphins trailed with under a minute to play when an old pro proved that these were a new breed of Dolphins.
He looks, he throws. It is caught for a touchdown. Holy Toledo, what a grab. What a play.
Was this team the real McCoy or simply wearing rose-colored glasses? The answer came in a Week 2 rout of the Buffalo Bills.
In motion, here's Marino on a bootleg, runs to his left, throws a little pass. It is caught by Page. 5-2-1, touchdown.
In what would foreshadow a season-long phenomenon, the key to Miami's victory was defense. By holding the potent Bills to an anemic 7 points, the Dolphins served notice to the rest of the NFL. This defense was good and would only get better.
Defensively, they take a lot of pride. We used to have the no-name defense, and now you've got a bunch of guys out there, too, that are just working hard, and they've been the #1 defense in the league a majority of the season. But they really take a lot of pride in working together to attain these kind of goals.
Achievement has never been a problem for John Offerdahl, number 56. Once again, he led the Dolphins in tackles. But numbers can't begin to measure what Offerdahl's leadership and big hits mean to the Dolphins' defense. But if any number could, it might be 5. Because in each of his 5 seasons, Offerdahl has been named to the Pro Bowl. For a change, however, Offerdahl wouldn't be the lone Dolphin defender going to Hawaii. As defensive end, Jeff Cross's considerable talents were likewise recognized.
A lot of football players can beat the man in front of them, but they don't have the quickness to get to the quarterback. And Jeff Cross has the strength to beat the man in front of him, and he's got the quickness to get to the quarterback.
Cross coupled his cat-like quickness with dogged determination to record a team-high 11.5 sacks. But while Cross was new to celebrity, 5 of Cross's teammates on defense were just plain new. Their ability to assimilate the Dolphins' defensive scheme was a key to Dolphin defensive success.
We have some new players on the defense that mixes well with the guys they had here from last year. And I think that they really have simplified the defense a lot, and they're just letting us play ball, going out, and the philosophy of the defense now is just go out and beat the man in front of you, and we'll come out ahead.
As a Plan B free agent, Odom did a grade A job. But this defense didn't need to put all its eggs in one basket. Old pros like Hugh Green played with an unbridled desire while serving up seismic hits. First-year starter David Griggs earned high marks at the expense of quarterbacks whom he made pay, as Miami rediscovered the joys of getting to the quarterback. Of course, sacks aren't the only weapons at a defense's disposal, a fact Louis Oliver makes very clear.
He gives you the big hit in your secondary, and he also is a ball hawk. He's the guy that knows where the ball is, and he comes up with key interceptions for us.
Strong safety Jarvis Williams is the other member of the B-2 Bombers, who has a knack for making big plays himself.
Takes the quick drop, out pattern, it'll be intercepted. This is go for a touchdown. Down to the 15, down to the 10, the 5, and the score for Dolphins, Jarvis Williams.
At cornerback, first-year starter J.B. Brown's heads-up play and big hits were complemented by first-year Dolphin Tim McKyer, who led the Dolphins in passes defense. The maestro of this mayhem was defensive coordinator Tom Olivadotti.
He's gone through years of turmoil and 8-8 and nothing better than average. But he's stuck it through the tough times and believed in a lot of the players that are still here with this defense playing. So, I give him a lot of credit.
Credit was due, because for a good portion of the season, the Dolphins were the #1 rated defense in the NFL. Don Shula directed his team to an awesome string of 6 consecutive victories, using every resource imaginable, starting in Week 4 against the Steelers.
Marino back to throw under pressure. Will throw it deep. He's got a man down there. Caught. This will go. It'll go to the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown. Mark Duper. Here is the snap. Coming after him. Kick is blocked. It's loose on the field. Picked up. Going to be run in for a touchdown by Mark Higgs. And the Dolphins score on special teams. Trudeau fumbles the football. Who's got it at the goal line? Dolphins have the football. Cliff Odom, a former Colt, falls on top of the ball. Touchdown for Miami.
At the halfway point of the season, Miami was an incredible 7-1 and reigned alone atop the AFC East for the first time in 5 years. No matter how you got there or who you brought along, the place to be last season was Joe Robbie Stadium, which celebrated its 4th season by setting a new attendance record and unveiling the Dolphins Honor Roll. Joining inaugural inductee Joe Robbie were Hall of Famers Paul Warfield, Larry Zonka, Jim Langer, and Bob Greasy. Future Hall of Famer Dan Marino didn't have the time to bask in the spotlight that Monday night against the Raiders because he was simply trying to keep the winning streak alive. Trailing late in the 4th quarter, Marino caught fire, and it appeared the Dolphins would catch the Raiders. But Miami let victory slip through its fingers. How a team responds to a loss that bitter is a good indication of how much character they've got.
It was a tough one for us because we felt we should have won. It was important for us to play well against Cleveland, so we had to go out and take advantage of them right away and get on a roll and take control of the game, and we did that.
The 35-yard line, Marino back to throw, going deep, he's got a man down there, touchdown!
Miami's 30-13 annihilation of Cleveland proved just how tough this team was, mentally and physically.
But I felt going into the year that the one thing that we had to do was become more physical. We went into the draft with the idea of getting physical people. In our first 2 draft picks, we got about 600 pounds of physical people.
Richmond Webb and Keith Sims were charged with the imposing responsibility of protecting Marino's blind side. He never had to worry.
The beautiful thing about it is they're young guys and they have a great attitude and they want to win, and I think that they're really not awed by anybody they're playing. They feel that they can line up and play against anybody.
That confidence was well-founded as they anchored an offensive line which allowed the fewest sacks for a record 9th straight year, while Webb became the first rookie tackle ever named to the Pro Bowl.
The goal was better balance offensively, and we made a commitment to doing that. 2 years ago, we drafted Sammy Smith, and that was the first part of the commitment. And then drafting Webb and Sims was the follow-up of the commitment.
Sammy Smith quickly proved he was as committed to the Dolphins as they were to him by gaining a career-high 159 yards on opening day against the Patriots. But Smith didn't stop there. By season's end, Smith would not only finish first on the Dolphins in rushing and touchdowns, but compile more yards rushing in his first 2 seasons than any of the great running backs in Dolphin history. Smith has the potential to fill a page in the Miami record book. But in 1990, there was another page in the Dolphin backfield. Tony Page, a Plan B acquisition, who was at his best in the clutch near the goal line. Page's 4 touchdown receptions were second only to Mark Duper, who led the Dolphins in every receiving category and excitement. And despite missing 6 games due to injury, Mark Clayton could still be counted on to make the big play when given the opportunity. While Farrell Edmonds parlayed his soft hands and opportunities into a second consecutive Pro Bowl bid. Aerial assaults in Miami are more than a passing fancy, And everyone in the NFL knows the man to go to for fancy passing, Dan Marino.
A guy that can throw it better than anybody, the drop back passer with the quickest release and the uncanny accuracy of a Dan Marino. So you've got to give him some weapons in order to make the things that he does that much more important to you.
Marino's importance to the team begins with his leadership. He is the heart of the Dolphin team. The fact that Dan Marino's name appears first in the record book so often has become second nature to Dolphins fans. Among the all-time marks he set in 1990 were fewest games to reach 30,000 yards and 7 consecutive years of 3,000 or more yards. In short, Marino has taken the pro passing game to heights never before achieved, perhaps heights never to be achieved again. But it was in Week 14 against playoff-bound Philadelphia that Marino and a young Dolphin team took a dramatic step together. The Eagles matched the Dolphins score for score, but a determined Don Shula was confident that Marino's best was still at hand. On his way to Player of the Week honors, Marino threw for 300 yards while directing Miami to 2 fourth-quarter scores to send the game to overtime.
Marino back to throw. He's going to run for it. He throws. Man open. Touchdown. Mark Duper.
And how much can you admire Marino? It's all him right now.
For the Dolphins, it was a moment of truth. Marino had done his part. It was time for someone else to be the hero.
2:39 left to play in the overtime. If he makes it, the Dolphins win. Here's the snap. Set down. Kick is on its way. It is Stoyanovich, the hero of the evening.
That win did more than give Miami its 10th win. It transformed the Dolphins from a team which knew it could win to one which knew it would. The following week against Seattle, Miami combined all the elements of a champion, including a stifling defense and timely offense, into its 11th win of the year. In the final game of the regular season, the Dolphins completed their 3rd sweep of an AFC East opponent by defeating the Colts, thanks again to big plays on both sides of the ball. With 12 victories, Miami had increased its win total from 1989 by 50%. But more importantly, the Dolphins were going to the playoffs.
Programs here, $2. Game day programs.
There was an understandable electricity in the air on January 5th, 1991, as Joe Robbie Stadium hosted its first ever Dolphin playoff game. Against a backdrop of championship flags from past years of glory, the 1990 Dolphins were set to make their mark by leaving some lasting impressions on the Chiefs. As it had all season, the Dolphin defense proved a headache to its opponents. But early on, it was the littlest Dolphin who struck the biggest blow.
The hold. Low snap, ball put down. The line drive kick is long enough. It is good.
Pete Stoyanovich's playoff record 58-yard field goal tied the game at 3. But Miami's celebration would turn to consternation as the Chiefs would score the next 13 points to take a 16-3 lead into the fourth quarter. Suddenly, Miami's dream season was turning into a nightmare. The situation called for a hero. The answer came from an undaunted Dan Marino, who reminded fans that even when they can't believe their eyes, they can still believe in heroes.
Marino looks to throw, passes, caught for a touchdown, into the end zone. Goes.
Tony Page's score brought Miami close, but Marino was just getting started.
Round left option. 19 LQ.
Marino back to throw, deep across the middle. It's complete to Edmonds at the hit. 45, 50, down in through.
It was Marino's 10th consecutive completion which appeared to finish the Chiefs.
Marino on the snap, quick drop, goes out. It is knocked down and caught. What a great catch over there by Clayton. He took it right off the hands of the defensive back. But Clayton came back for the ball and got it and held on to it and went into the end zone for the touchdown.
Marino's lightning bolt to Clayton stole the Chiefs' thunder and their lead, but with time running out, the Chiefs mounted a desperate drive. Christian Okoye's rumble put the Chiefs well within Nick Lowry's range, but a holding call brought the ball back, setting the stage for the season's most dramatic moment.
Here's the snap. It is going to fall short. It falls short.
Miami's final victory of its silver anniversary season was also its finest, proving that the Dolphins have regained the right to be included in a very short list of the NFL's elite teams. For the story of the 1990 Dolphins was the story of the tradition restored.